Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today, we're going to be combining two ingredients to see A, if the process works, and B, if it tastes delicious. We are going to be taking Pringles and filling it with chocolate, meaning this Pringles container. We're going to fill it with chocolate and we're going to have the combination of salty and sweet. But will it actually work if we pour the chocolate in here? Will we have gaps? Will the chocolate get in between the layers of chips? Not sure. That's why we're here. I've seen this going around, and I think the biggest appeal of the recipe is the combination of sweet and salty, yes, but namely the peeling of the cardboard tube off the cylinder of chocolate. Now, I can attest from personal experience that the combination of salty potato chips and chocolate is a good one. Many years ago, on my very first trip to Reading Market in Philadelphia, I had a combination of a chip, I believe it was a ruffled chip, that was dipped into dark chocolate. You could still see the chip exposed, so it's kind of a novelty where you have like salty potato chip and then you have some chocolate. But it certainly was not an entire cylinder. It was delicious, by the way. Great combination of textures and of course flavors. So here is a tube of Pringles. They've been around for a long time, and what makes them unique is that they come packaged in this tube. You eat them out of the tube and all of the chips are exactly the same if they're not broken. You have them stacked up inside and they come all perfectly shaped like this. They're kind of bumpy and quite thin, very uniform. Do you ever do this? I have to do this every time I eat Pringles because it's so much fun. Put them together like this and then you make a little duck mouth. Mm-hmm. Isn't it great? It's so much fun. They've got kind of a fine crunch, more of a crumble in my opinion than a crunch because they're made from dehydrated potatoes. The snap of them is not as crispy as either a kettle style potato chip or a standard style potato chip. Nice potatoey flavor, but a cooked potato flavor. A little bit like instant mashed potatoes. Don't love the original. My favorite are sour cream and onion and barbecue. They definitely put some addictive MSG laden powder on these things because I can never just have one. We're going to do two different methods. One method, I'm just going to pour chocolate straight into the cylinder. The second one, I'm actually going to take the chips out and we're going to do this kind of layer thing so that we have chocolate between each layer, and then when we cut it in cross section, we should have some nice sedimentary rock thing going on. So even though Pringles are packaged in a cardboard tube, they often come broken in my experience. So let us see. Oh, this one. I think we scored. This one looks pretty good. I think this one is a little bit shorter, which makes me think that there's more broken ones at the bottom. Pringles containers, along with their resealable lids, always make me think of after-school specials like Zoom, because they would always show projects that you could make, like a homemade telescope or some homemade periscope that you could make. All you need is a chip container, a tube with a clear lid, and never would we have these in the pantry. So I could never make the project because I never had one of these. Oh, make your own solar oven. You can cook your own hot dog. All you need is a Pringles container. Of course, they wouldn't say Pringles, they would say potato chips. And I would be just like, all I need is an empty Pringles container or a tennis ball container. All right, the memories. In my pantry, I have a couple types of chocolate. I have 3 bags of milk chocolate chips, and that might be enough. I'm not sure if that volumetrically will be enough. So I'm also going to chop some almond bark. This is a compound chocolate. This is great for candy making because you don't have to temper the chocolate, which is a little bit of a laborious process of getting the chocolate to the perfect temperature so that when it cools, you get a nice snap and a beautiful sheen on your chocolate. But the disadvantage of compound chocolate is that it doesn't taste as good because it uses other types of fat besides cocoa butter to have it solidify at room temperature. I'm gonna do roughly half of this. So compound chocolate looks a lot like chocolate, smells like chocolate, but if you taste it, It's chocolatey, and in my opinion, it tastes a lot like Easter bunny candy. Like the hollow bunnies that you get at Easter, that kind of chocolate. It's also called almond bark, although it does not contain any almond in it whatsoever. I think maybe they call it that because it's similar to what they use to coat candied almonds. Adding my milk chocolate chips as well. Mixing that up. Now I'm gonna place this in my microwave and microwave it at 30-second intervals. It's gonna take several minutes, I think, and stirring in between because we don't wanna burn this until everything is melted. So one of these tubes, we're painfully going to sandwich chocolate in between each potato chip. So let's pour them out and see how many whole chips we have. Slide. Oh, we did pretty well. We only have a couple casualties at the end. Very nice. Also, I think as we add layers of chocolate in between, it's gonna get taller. So missing a few chips is okay. Okay, lovelies, our chocolate is fully melted. It actually didn't take very long at all, about 3 minutes total. Let's do our first one where we just pour the chocolate right into the tube. Before this sets up, we're gonna tappa, because in my experience using chocolate or candy coating, candy melts, tapping gets rid of the air bubbles. The chips were definitely not as high up as before, so I think what's happening is the chocolate is settling down below and pushing the chips up. Interesting. And then place it in the refrigerator to cool. Let's go ahead and assemble our chip tower. And we want chocolate in between all of the chips. So I'm gonna take the chocolate that I already melted and paint some chocolate in between each layer. Now this is gonna be a little painstaking, but this is gonna make it even. We're gonna get those beautiful layers and separation between the chocolate and the chips. I think I'm gonna do these in sections, or I could just dip. There you go. Dip, stack, dip, stack. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Here's the strategy. So you take your chip, you dip, and you stack. Dip, stack. That's actually pretty quick. I have to say right off the bat, I'm not sure if this process is worth it. Going to the lengths of adding chocolate between each layer. It's a bit laborious, even though we've figured out a method. It's a little painstaking. But this is why I'm doing it and you're not, right? Add a little bit of chocolate to the bottom. And hopefully that little pat of chocolate will cushion their fall. Mostly. I could also just put my hand in there. Ooh, that didn't fall in nicely. This is a good way to get your hands coated in chocolate. Yeah. Oops. This is definitely not the way to go. It's rotating inside the can, so trying to get them to stack evenly, it's not that fun. Now that they're getting close to the top, it's getting a little easier. What'd you do today? Oh, wrestled with some Pringles and chips and chocolate. Nice. Okay, lovelies. Now you know the drill. At this point, we're gonna fill the container with chocolate. Tappa, tappa. And then I'll place this one in the refrigerator as well. And then we'll come back and then unveil and unwrap and see what we've got going on inside. All right, lovelies, see you in a little bit. All right, my lovelies, I am back with my chilled Pringles chocolate blocks, and let's see how we did. And this, I just poured the chocolate right into the canister. That's what it looks like. Pretty clean. happy with that, I have to say. No potato chips showing through. Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow. I'm so impressed with that. I am going to unwrap the second one as well because I want to see them side by side. Nice. This one's a little shorter. All right, here we go. Hey, that's not too bad. Actually, that looks kind of beautiful. Look at that. What happened here? This looks so beautiful. It's almost like wood grain. What happened there? Insufficient chip dipping? Look at that. Like some kind of fossil or something. This one might be even trickier to cut because it's even larger, but there's going to be less structural integrity in the middle, I'm guessing, since, I don't know, let's just cut it. Oh yeah, hear that crunch? Oh, wow. You can see how the chocolate ended up on the bottom and how the chips rose up. Isn't that cool? They floated up, and so the bottom is quite thick. I love that. It's like an archaeological dig. So some of these chips did get some chocolate in between, but most of them did not. I'm impressed with how well these cut in the cross section. So for comparison, these were dipped individually and sandwiched together, and this was just poured. First, I'm going to taste this bit. Potato chip, chocolate. Itadakimasu. Pretty stinking great. I actually like this ratio of chocolate to chip. So it's actually more chip than chocolate. It really balances things out. Because we did use a compound chocolate and milk chocolate, it's quite sweet. And of course the chips are plain and salted, so that salt is a nice foil and balances out the sweetness of the chocolate really well. And besides that, there's a terrific textural thing going on. The chocolate isn't really snappy, but it is firm. But of course the chips inside are crunchy. So it makes an audible crunch, but then it's crunchy in your mouth as well. And it's a really fun texture. Let's try a portion of this one where there's more chocolate to chip ratio and the chips are surrounded more by chocolate. Ooh, look at that. It looks like tree bark or almost like salmon. Let's give this a taste. Still really good. This is more like candy because we have more chocolate than potato chip, but it still works very nicely. There's less crunch, but the flavor I think actually is a little bit more balanced. It's more like a candy bar, while the other one was a little bit confused. Even though I like that it was more salty, that was a little bit peculiar in terms of what you might be familiar with when it comes to candy. This one's more like a crunch bar. You get the crunchy texture of the potato chip, but it's more about the chocolate. And the chocolate isn't anything fancy. It's sweet milk chocolate with a crunchy texture. I think I like the layered chocolate more because it's more like a dessert. It's more familiar like a crunch bar and a little bit more balanced. Although I did like the playfulness of the layers of chip surrounded by chocolate. If you want to try this just as a fun like slumber party thing, I would probably just melt some chocolate and pour it into the can of Pringles, because then you can just quickly do it and then quickly eat it. To be honest, this entire project turned out way better than I expected, both in terms of the final results, aesthetically, both were very pleasing, both worked, and flavor, terrific. I don't feel like this was a wasted project. I'm sure my kids are gonna delight in having potato chips and chocolate. Alrighty, my lovelies, there you have it. The Pringles chocolate block done 2 different ways. I did it so you didn't have to, or now you can with ease, I hope. Alright, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Chocolate for days, lovely. For days.